Hey, it would help if I push the right buttons.
Yeah,
I realize I'm doing all the buttons. I can't put
it in. Sorry.
Oh, my goodness. It's all right. Hey, everybody. It's Monday.
Yes, it is.
Dan is so hyper-focused on
and hopefully you're not watching us on Twitch tonight because it's not working.
Oh, look at that.
And I can't get my computer to work. So I'm on my phone.
Yeah, look at that. Twitch is having some issues, but that's all right. So if you're watching on Twitch, you're not watching on Twitch. So it's the EriDan Film Festival episode. Any guess? Have you been paying attention?
227.
172.
But it's movie 227.
Was that?
But it's movie 227.
It is movie 211. You're
close enough.
Really close. But it is time to talk movies once again with friends and family. So please join us at EriDanLive.com. Is that right? I don't even remember.
Yes, EriDanLive.com.
It is, it's just like that. It's so easy to join us. There it is. Thank you. Graphics. All right, EriDanLive.com. You just close your browser, open up a new browser or whatever. Come to this, and then you'll come to us, and we'll talk movies. Tonight, we're talking about The Corpse Bride from 2005. Maybe Adam will actually join us, or maybe he'll be in the comments. I don't know. This is his movie. But we've not heard from Adam yet. But just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. It's all so easy. So we look forward to a lovely evening.
Okay, I can put people in now. I found the button.
Do you want to do the thing? I
can put people in. Speaking of putting people in.
Do you want to actually talk to people?
Sure.
A romantic evening at the Ryder household.
Oh, yeah, it's so romantic.
Great discussions, I'm sure, of all things great and small. How are you?
All right.
You getting ready for Halloween?
Not really. Sure. I decorated for fall.
It feels like this movie is our kickoff.
Yeah.
Spooky.
It is Halloween month.
It is Halloween month. We're not big Halloween people. Emma is.
You do not love the Halloween.
It's not that. It's just that's all. I mean, I like a little bit of stuff, and Young Frankenstein is a must on Halloween. And
Speaking of Young Frankenstein.
I like how we get the ghostly figures moving around in the window behind you.
No, it is. It's their house is spooky.
It is spooky.
It's a spooky house.
Speaking of spooky,
although with that intro, you're really trying to drive people away from the podcast, aren't you, Eric? All the cats.
I might have clicked the wrong button.
He did the all cats version.
I couldn't let it go. Mm-hmm. Speaking of letting go.
That's Scott? Yes, it's Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby. He'll grow. Bring Scott back.
What? I see this as an absolute win.
Hello.
It's Scott as a baby.
Wow, it is Scott as a baby. He's swaddled up like a little burrito.
I definitely am.
Oh,
no!
Are you sick?
Do you not see my title?
No, I can't right now because I'm on my phone.
Can you make me full screen, please, Eric, for Dan here, so I can just go.
Man.
I just assumed you meant like mental testing.
That's not what you want to see.
Psychological testing, maybe.
All right, so I was just hanging out with you on Saturday, I just had my. I just tested this morning and had my COVID shot this afternoon.
Oh,
Oh man!
I spent the day
Scott,
before
when did
I
you
got
get?
sick. I spent all evening with two of my daughters, and neither of them got sick.
see, our kids didn't get it either.
I don't. It's not COVID. It's negative, but
Oh.
Okay, good.
Mine was COVID, but
I feel like yeah. I will be a unusually quiet self today.
It's
but
probably
I'm sure
scurvy.
Yeah, he probably
Well,
has scurvy.
Yeah, I need more oranges. Speaking of oranges,
We need to create a layout of the skin where Scott is really far away from the rest of everybody else's screen, just to keep everybody safe.
oh
All right, who else? Who's coming in next?
All right, still working. All right.
Wow.
Hear a ringing.
And now we have the man of the hour,
Oh my goodness!
the collector of the film.
Let's get this show started.
In the beginning, there was.
Oh my goodness! All the way. Where are you? Where are you?
Home.
Victor?
You're home.
You're at
Julie
home.
up.
He's doing his best Hagrid impression.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Adam, you picked this movie.
blackout curtains. What?
Eric, do you have the stats on the movie?
I do have stats for the movie. We should actually talk about Corpse Bride, not the Corpse Bride. Tim Burton's
Exactly.
Corpse Bride. Johnny
Tim
Depp,
Burton's Corpse Bride.
Helena Bonham Carter, Emily Watson, Tracy Ullman. Directed by Tim Burton, and Mike Johnson. Budget of $40 million, worldwide gross of $118 million. Critics at an 84, audience at a 77. Adam, why did you choose this week's movie for us?
Because it's Halloween time, I guess. I don't know. Hey, that's not. Hey, there I am. Oh my God.
It's okay, Adam.
Now put me back to the smaller screen. I don't know. No,
Put you in the center square.
There you go. No,
I'll take Adam to block.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really prepared to get picked, and then so I was like, "Well, it's Halloween time, and I know certain people don't like super scary movies," and I'm like, "Well, this is a cute Halloween movie, so that's why I picked it."
And it is a cute Halloween movie. You are correct.
I mean, and it's the same people that did Nightmare Before Christmas, which I know some people didn't really like too much, but I still like this one too. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's really why I picked it. I mean,
it's a musical and almost a romantic.
I mean, well, that too, and it's super short. It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's very digestible.
That I know Stacy doesn't like scary movies either. So
yeah, I don't like scary movies.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's had
let me
some
pick
scary
one
moments.
that's, you know,
Not as scary as cats.
Oh,
Different type of scary.
but, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a cute movie. I mean, it's not anything like, you know, I don't know, offensive.
No.
Other than,
That's pretty.
was this anybody's first time watching The Corpse Bride? Stacy, wait, and Dave and Dan. Whoa. So, well, let's hear something. Let's hear, Stacy. Did you find this scary?
Not really. No. It had horror movie stuff to it, but it wasn't bad. What I liked about it was, the end. How I really liked how it ended. I thought, oh, good, thank God, because I thought, well, how stupid. Horror movies are always some stupid idiot doing something stupid, get in trouble, and he puts a ring on a branch. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? He's now married to this. What? Are you kidding? So, but it's a horror movie, cartoon horror movie.
Right.
So I really liked how it ended. even though it was all very nuts. But I did, I thought I liked that, and I told Wade I liked the music because it was pleasant. Like if I wasn't paying attention, I'm like, man, that's just background music, not like the score, like the
songs themselves,
songs and stuff.
I
score.
I agree with that. I enjoy the music. I find the songs to be kind of forgettable. Like
I was going to say the same thing.
It's not like Nightmare Before Christmas where you have songs that
the score was excellent, but the songs were just forgettable.
Exactly. I don't remember a single one.
Yeah,
background.
I liked the song when he first arrived in the land of the dead. That was a very like kind of cool, catchy one. They like die, rock, like that was a cool one, and the stop motion animation was really cool. But like, the whole one about like if he only knew the you that we.
Yeah, so going as planned, whatever the beginning one was.
They were fine, but they weren't particularly.
Who distributed this again, Eric?
What was that?
Disney.
Who was the distributor? The studio.
The studio. That's a great.
It wasn't
question.
Disney, was it? Warner Brothers, Disney.
If it was,
this one I don't think it was. At least it's not on Disney Plus.
It was by Leica Entertainment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The reason I ask is because Warner Brothers has a habit, if something is super popular, they like that director to remake it, but like in the idea that the audience of the previous film is going to like it. It's like, for instance, they did it with the Hobbit movies, where they tried to make them more like Lord of the Rings, a different story. And that might have been the same thing with the Corpse Bride. They're like, let's do Nightmare Before Christmas, which means you have to have really catchy songs in there and throw them in there. Because the story works without them, like the atmosphere. The best song in the whole thing for me is the piano bit.
The piano bit was very nice.
Yeah.
The songs, the songs definitely are how they tell a lot of the story, right? Especially the opening couple of numbers are, the songs are very informational, a lot like Cats. But the songs are very much there.
Nice try.
We're going to tell you who we are. This is who we are. This is where we're going. This is why we're going. This is what's happening, and so the songs are very important to keep the story going.
Scott, that's
the songs,
disgusting.
you'd have to add a lot more dialogue.
Do you want me to swallow? Okay.
You can turn your microphone off. Thank you. I'm gonna say we don't have to hear your
But yes, but more or less, Tim Burton Productions produced this. So it really was his. The similarities to Nightmare Before Christmas are unmistakable beyond just the style.
It's a much simpler story, though. It's it works. I like the movie, I really did. But other than maybe the scene where he's singing in the forest and puts the ring on the branch, everything was sort of telegraphed. There were no surprises. You knew the moment she's telling the Corpse Bride is telling the story about this guy having basically bilked her. You knew it was it's that guy, the guy that they showed previously,
the obviously evil guy who just wandered into the rehearsal.
And there were which is fine. I don't hold that really against it, but it wasn't groundbreaking in any way. Excellent animation. I think the casting was good and the story was good. It didn't surprise me at all.
I had seen something on, I think it was the Wikipedia page that was saying that, or somewhere, and I don't know how true this is, but that the stop motion animation was very smooth in this, and that a lot of people thought it was CGI, which Tim Burton was very unhappy about. So he intentionally made it a little bit choppier when he made Frankenweenie next, just to make it a little more obvious that it was stop motion.
That's amazing.
Well, I was also reading that the models and the sets were actually very large.
Yeah.
To the point where a lot of the animators could go fit through the doorways and actually do more interaction with them in the actual models.
Yeah, because the detail on the stop motion is really the fact that they do extended piano playing sequences in stop motion seems like an insane thing to film.
But can we
the fact that the piano was a Harryhausen piano was a great touch.
Can we also appreciate just how Victorian this story was? It would have been so easy just to do a ripoff or an interpretation of what horror is today and an old school horror setting, but they really went for this very turn of the screw atmosphere, storytelling style. Visually, it's just absolutely stunning.
And I also wonder how many how many of the younger audience who was watching it had any idea that Maggot was basically doing a Peter Lorre impression the entire movie.
Oh, I knew. Yep, I knew that.
The one thing that the only story beat that didn't like work for me, and like it wasn't terrible, but it was the twist that like, oh, till death do you part, therefore you're not really married. Like that felt weirdly contrived to me. Just like it's not like I feel like that is usually that means like one of you dies after the marriage, but they're already like alive and dead. And like if the case is that like you can't be dead when you get married, then the fact that both of them are dead should invalidate the marriage anyway. Till death do us. I feel like they could have found another way to invalidate the marriage without having to pull out the like till death do us part line. Otherwise, yeah, I was going to roll with all the other stuff in the movie, but that part that was really.
I did enjoy the parents.
Yes.
Very over the top.
Very over the top stereotype. The gold diggers trying to recover. Well, not gold diggers, but the
noble family trying to recover.
Noble family trying to regain lost glory, and the nouveau riche trying to get into the status. Yeah.
And I also love how it's a competition between the mom's hair and her chin. Which one is bigger?
Yeah,
the only thing that can, and like I said, when I saw the sort of the story, and I thought, oh, that's the guy that abandoned her is the same guy we previously saw. But I'm thinking, but wait a minute, why would he be going after Victoria? Because she has no money, unless he's just an idiot and didn't actually bother to see if they had any money first. And it turns out he was just an idiot and hadn't bothered to see if they had any money first.
I mean, it makes you wonder if like Emily was from a noble family, so he was just like and she had a lot of money, so it's like noble family equals money, and just kind of assumed it would be a similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not the brightest. I mean, also just like you
don't have to be bright to be a villain, right?
No.
This is also the first Johnny Depp movie I've seen where he's not the weird one.
That's a good point.
It's a Hitchcockian twist. Like they cast him against type. Like it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought he did very well as the role of Victor. Like it really doesn't sound like a typical Johnny Depp role.
Yeah, it was very very underplayed, which is good. Yeah.
Yeah. He should be more like that.
He's kind of a dimwit.
It's a very, very simple film.
Yeah. Well, he led a very sheltered life, He doesn't even know any women.
Agreed, Brittany. The stop motion is
his best friend is his mother.
Yeah, that's fair. They didn't really elaborate on Lord Barker's because he made some mention about how he like left her to die or something. So did he actually kill her directly, or did he just abandon her?
It wasn't clear.
Woods, yeah.
How about the use of color too? Like making the afterlife being very colorful. Even the people's skins like super blue.
Yeah. The afterlife was colorful, and the living world was drab.
Yes.
Right. So interesting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they needed to have some reason why Victor would conceivably be like, yeah, cool, I'll just kill myself to like marry this person I just met. That's fine. So they had to make the afterlife seem cool.
Yeah. I think the biggest weakness of the movie is still the fact that the main is not like the focus. He doesn't drive the plot. He's kind of a vessel. And again, it's supposed to be sort of like a Hitchcock movie where you have this unknowing bystander who gets thrust into a world where he's a fish out of water and he has to grow and develop. Instead, he runs away and is forced to face everything. So I felt like if they had actually taken the time to develop him, where he had to develop some other skills and grow that way, it probably would be a little bit better. But it's still a relatively good story.
Yeah, and
is there any better voice in acting than Christopher Lee? I just love his voice, man.
Nope. I would say even in a bad movie, he is the best thing in the bad movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, James Earl Jones, Christopher Lee. There's just certain voices that Orson Welles to a degree that just have this resonance that just every line they deliver held so much more weight.
You know what Orson Welles' last movie was actually? He was the voice of God in the Transformers movie. It's that good.
Wow.
Citizen Kane to Transformers.
So he, George Burns, and Morgan Freeman, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people think that the director being God is
realized he's on mute. Dan, you're on mute.
There we go.
There you
go. How about that?
We were just ignoring you.
Let's not forget Adam as the voice of God. Listen to Adam's voice. I mean, he's got a voice.
Welcome.
You should be in radio, Adam.
Or at least the voice of Todd.
Give me a job. Hook it up. I'll do it.
Well, there's no radio anymore. Radio's dead.
Voiceover.
Do voiceover work.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could have Adam do the new opening to the new show.
There you go.
There you go.
How about we
There you
fake
go.
Adam's face onto all the cats in the opening?
Oh, that would be good.
Can we do that, Eric?
Please don't give Eric ideas.
Dan Rosenberg and Rafi Manassian.
I'm going to redo the whole movie.
I give myself 0 points.
I really think that the if this movie had existed in a vacuum and was not sort of, it's not a sequel by any means, but they sort of a follow-on to Nightmare Before Christmas, I think I might rate it a little higher. It actually sort of suffers by comparison.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If Frank and Weenie had come before that movie,
It's still very good, but it just you when you compare the two, you go, oh,
you can't.
Nightmare Before Christmas had some really great spots in it, and this one was just good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the way, we
your-
are on Twitch. It just says we're not on Twitch. If anybody cares.
For me, the main part that it suffers compared to Nightmare Before Christmas is the song, just because Nightmare Before Christmas has such good, memorable songs that and I feel like this one tried to do similar things, but just the songwriting was not.
I also think the story in Nightmare Before Christmas is a more complex story. This is a very simplistic story.
Right. The main character actually has a full arc where he comes back to fully accepting himself.
But they both have cute dead dogs in them.
They do have cute.
Yeah. They do. As for just like Frank and Weenie.
They're all the same.
There is definitely a thread that runs through there.
Yeah, we all see it.
The scariest thing I saw was Tim Burton's hair in that clip you put up. That was
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It looked kind of like Bellatrix, actually. And did he have a thing with Helena Bonham Carter?
He was dealing with some issues.
You know, and from a technical standpoint, I don't know if I think we might have. I know we talked about the stop motion, but this was shot with a Canon EOS 1D Mark II digital SLR, a DSLR. They did not use 35mm film or anything.
Wow.
They used DSLRs.
They did an image sequence. Oh, that's wow.
and I also really appreciate between Tim Burton and Aardman keeping stop motion animation alive, because I love stop motion animation. And CGI has its place, and traditional animation I love as well, but I just don't want that niche to disappear.
Well, if everyone likes stop motion, you all should watch Being Vincent. It's literally a hand-painted movie by, like, I think 203,000 artists. It's all about the follow-up to Vincent's life. Vincent Van Gogh. You should totally watch it.
Oh, I thought it was Vincent Price, sorry.
No, Vincent from this movie. It's just
There you go.
looks great.
Vincent Price's cut his ear off several times. We just never noticed. Grows back.
That's true. I could choose a Vincent Price movie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well, is it time?
Let's do it.
I think
Eric,
so.
what score did I
24
give
minutes.
Nightmare Before Christmas?
All right. Let me look that up for you real quick.
Thank you.
Hold on, it helps.
89.
There you go.
Thanks, Dave.
There you go.
As did Wade. Wade also gave it an 89.
I think
What did I give?
I also gave it.
There were 4 89s.
And then I'm pretty sure I was at an 89 as well. So, well, let's find out where Corpse Bride is. Woohoo. All right.
Sorry, got to start with Adam.
What?
You got to start with you.
What?
Instead of ending with you,
Hey.
we got to send you a camera light or something.
I know he had his cell phone light on for a second, and you could see his face so well.
There
There
he
he
is.
is. Adam.
Take that light of gods on your back.
Victor Van Dort, what's going on?
Is that a Hungarian horntail behind you?
No, it's
It is-
the ghost of Albus Dumbledore.
It is daytime right now.
Nice.
I know. I just like my room dark.
I feel you, buddy.
He likes his room like he likes his coffee.
Kind of.
Cream and 2 sugars.
3.
All right.
Anywho,
Exactly.
oh jeez.
Doc.
So thoughts, Adam?
Yeah, what are your thoughts,
scores?
Adam?
Thoughts?
And your score?
On the movie.
It's a good movie. It's not great. Like I said, I just picked it because it's Halloween, and I don't want to pick a scary movie because some people like scary movies. And I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas is way better than this, but this is still pretty good. So, and it's short too. So, like I said, I didn't have to it wasn't long enough to bore me, but it was good enough not to bore me anyway. So,
right.
I give it like a 90.
90.
It's still
90
pretty,
for
it's still
Matt.
pretty good. I still like it. It's really good. I watch it again.
Wade and Stacy.
Um,
Very orangish, very
yeah.
fall colors, the two of you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was surprised how high my score was, and Wade reminded me why for Nightmare Before Christmas. Reminded me why, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, because I felt like I liked this story better because it was simpler, and Jack Skellington is weird. That's a whole thing. I mean, I understand wanting to be Santa. I get it, but I just really like this story a lot for a scary movie, and so I was surprised. But my score will be an 85.
85.
Yeah, I definitely I like the musical score and Nightmare Before Christmas. I was pleasantly surprised with it. And so, yeah, unfortunately, it kind of gets compared. And the storyline was pretty good. I actually had to watch it twice because I fell asleep, and then I fell asleep in the same part, so I had to go back and watch it again.
What are you, me?
He's older than you.
I don't know. Yeah.
I fell asleep too. I don't fall asleep during movies, but I do.
Yeah, well, I do, but we were like in the same spot, so had to go back and figure out what was going on.
It's subliminal messages.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, Wade. Go to sleep, Wade.
You take me to the underworld. So yeah, it was. I did like I did kind of like the reverse kind of colorization where, the underworld was colored and the real world supposedly was drab, which for the times that they're going through with the royalty kind of noble family and stuff, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm gonna give it an 80. I thought the stop motion was really good because I hardly even noticed any, like you said, any kind of breaking in emotions at all. It was pretty good.
Well, there you go.
I like scraps.
Yeah, the movie had a great look. It really did. I loved the animation. I thought the casting was solid. No complaints about the casting. And even though I said the story was simplistic, it also is only an hour and 15-minute movie. So it had enough story for the length of the movie. So I don't really hold that against it.
Just enough time to get a good nap. I'm sorry.
Yeah, apparently, for some of you.
Twice.
So it was enjoyable. I sort of settled on an 80, but I'm bumping it 2 points for the Harryhausen reference. I really loved that, so it's an 82.
All right, an 82.
We do.
Amanda.
I like this movie. Yeah, I think it's a pleasant watch. I enjoy stop motion, and it was very cool to look. Even when the songs weren't fun, or interesting, at least the animation was very cool to look at. So even an uninteresting song was still enjoyable, and the piano sequence is very cool and impressive stop motion. I agree with Stacey that I was happy that it didn't end up with him getting with Emily. That it was. No, she needs to move on. Yeah, but she helped Victor reconcile. So that was good. And I think if the songs had been stronger, this would have been a much higher rating. It's just I place a lot of value in the songs for movies that are musicals like this, and they just weren't really there. So for me, it's an 86.
Yeah, it wasn't jellical enough for me.
No, right? If it had had more songs like Cats, I would have been into it. But those are memorable.
Now, what was your score? 80?
86.
86. All right. Oh, did Scott leave and just made a pile of blankets with a hat on it?
Either that or Brian is finally melted.
Oh, gosh,
he's muted.
He's back again.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, yeah. We can try to guess.
There you go.
I am back. Sorry.
Such a Mickey Mouse production.
You did like the.
Totally. Something I always ask myself whenever I watch an animated movie is that does it need to be animated? And I feel like if you had actually told this story as a live action movie, it wouldn't have been as elevated as much. And they were able to get away with a lot more stuff and a lot more creativity with this kind of world, exploring it, what the afterlife could have been like if it was actually in that period. Like, do people actually look forward to dying and being able to be themselves in a more colorful environment where you could just do whatever?
Or being like the driver who felt better than he'd felt in years.
Exactly. Precisely. That's basically the vibe of the story, and also combining with the friendliness of a kid movie, where you have the songs and you have really bizarre, over the top characters. I remember when I was a kid, I remember every single commercial for this movie. They had like Tim Burton's Corpse Bride is eye-popping, jaw-dropping, death-defying. You'll laugh your head off. I'm sure we all remember those commercials.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they really like the pirate guy going, "This is gonna be good." Just that line kept popping everywhere. But anyway, I enjoyed this movie. It's fun. I will probably give it an 87.
87. Wow.
You probably will. Or you will.
Let me think about it. Get back to me. Yeah, 87.
All right. Going into the comments real quick. Brittany agrees with Scott. She also gives it. I'm gonna give it a solid 87. My madre enjoyed watching this. It was her first time seeing it. She gave it an 83. Gary's with us again. He liked the storyline. The stop motion was good, but I really don't like Tim Burton and not a fan of the songs. He's our Adam this week. He gives it a 72. No offense to Adam. I'm gonna agree with pretty much what everybody said. That's why I like going late, because when you go late, you can say that's what what they said.
I know.
I think this is a solid movie. I think it was a good pick. It's a good way to start off the Halloween season without being too scared.
Right.
When I was just in Phoenix, we were trying to figure out what to do. Is like a team bonding thing. We talked about doing a movie, and they wanted to go see the Saw movie. I'm like, let's go to Dave and Buster's.
Right.
Yeah. So much easier than Saw. And they had unlimited boneless wings that night, which was fantastic.
Oh, good timing.
Yeah, and the football game there was a football game on Thursday night. I had a few players in my. Anyway, I give this an 88.
88. Whoa.
Yeah.
Craziness. Awesome. All right. Well, I again, I agree with everybody. Here's my spooky rain effect. But this movie, there aren't a ton of. I'm going to say there aren't a ton of fun Halloween movies out there. And so I feel like this is a solid contender in that genre. But as a movie goes, I agree. I agree with what we're all saying. Is that you're gonna end up comparing it to Nightmare Before Christmas, which has a lot more memorable moments, memorable songs. But still really good. So I ended up at an 82 as well as Dave. And I didn't even get the reference of why you gave it 2 more points. So there you go. So there we go. That's a little. There we go.
I like this.
So the lowest score was a 72. That's solid.
That is correct. So
first pager.
Give me one moment.
I would think
first pager.
I would think late first pager.
You would be incorrect.
My first pager I bought from from Sears. That's where I got my first pager.
When you first started dealing drugs.
No, I traded in an engagement ring. I got a fax machine and a pager.
You should have just gone to the forest and put it on a branch.
I know.
There we go. All right. Everybody is correct. It is a first page movie, which we haven't had for quite some time, actually. Everything else seems to be going to the middle page. But there we go. With an 83.82, beating out Ferris Bueller and forgetting Sarah Marshall.
But it didn't beat Young Frankenstein. Good.
Yeah. So there you go. Nightmare Before Christmas.
Shout out to Adam.
Top of the middle column.
Adam's movies usually do pretty well, though.
That's true.
Yeah, Adam, you do pick pretty good movies. I'm not going to lie. Other than Super
Very
Troopers.
particular.
I do appreciate it.
Didn't Adam pick Cats?
I still stick on my Super Troopers pick. I think it's
I enjoy Super Troopers.
Hey, everybody deserves a movie somewhere on the last page.
Everybody has that one movie that not everybody else likes somewhere in time.
I think that
and it just happens.
So I've always joked with you guys about threatening to pick like one of the worst movies ever. I'll never pick it, but I've always threatened it. And that movie was this movie called The Room, which is probably the worst movie ever made.
Oh yes,
yeah.
The one that James Franco then did a movie about the
Disaster Artist.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Disaster Artist is way better than The Room.
Oh,
I have not watched The Room, but I have watched The Disaster Artist.
I've watched both. I think The Room is very close.
All right. Well, let's see what terrible movie people can choose for next week, shall we? Oh my!
Just a
Wow.
We've got
Amanda.
It looks like an eye.
We have quite a few people with a lot of names on here. So hopefully we get to whittle down this list a little bit. We're going to give it one shuffle. And if the person who comes up isn't here or does not want to pick, we will spin again. But let's spin the wheel.
No whammies. No whammies.
As this woman takes a shower. That's going to be... Oh my goodness.
Dan's mom.
There we go.
Mother. Oh, mother.
Oh, we're Psycho now, huh?
Psycho 2.
Either that or Mike Pence. Anyway, Mother.
No,
I've actually seen Dan a wig. It's not pretty.
No, it doesn't have to be a Halloween spooky movie.
Is that what made you sick?
Yes.
We're not insisting that people pick.
My mom texted and asked, have we done Beetlejuice?
Oh. Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
Oh, wait. No, I think we did.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did Beetlejuice.
We did do Beetlejuice.
October 5th, 2020.
Oh, my God.
Did I pick that? No,
I mean, should we do it again?
It got an 81.80.
That's okay. We don't need
We've watched a movie 3 times. It probably would.
We've watched a few horror movies. We did watch Cats.
Hey, now.
Hey.
Hey, you didn't pick it, Eric. Don't get offended.
If anything, you're the reason why it isn't the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stand by Cats. Much better than Who's That Girl?
Oh, I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a rough.
That's a tough call, man.
Yes, it's
Eric,
really-
watch Who's That Girl again.
I mean, at least Cats is based on good source material, even if it's it's a movie adaptation.
Well, we can say Cats is the biggest disappointment. How's that?
That's fair.
Yeah.
It was a disappointment.
My mother always said it was me. No, I'm sorry.
She did.
My dad said
That
that.
sounds right. Yeah.
See, I gave Cats an 11 and Who's That Girl a 10. So I guess I agree with you.
It's not right. That's not right. Whoa.
That's
Somebody's
not
going to have to clean that up,
Greg.
you know.
I know. But this is the low. All right.
I do not have access to those. I looked. I don't. You must have a different kind of computer than me.
I just use OBS and throw some backgrounds in the back.
Wait, how are you doing it again, Eric? Is it in the Elgato?
It's an extension. It's an extension on the newest version of Apple's OS.
Right.
So you've got to be running on a Mac. You've got to be running the newest version.
Sorry, I like upgrading my computers.
I know I used to be able to do that when I had installed the Logitech software for my webcam. I just never bothered to reinstall it on my new system.
I'm running Ventura. Is that not the newest one?
No, they just came out with Burbank. No, it's not Burbank.
Burbank.
Yeah, Encino. They came out with Encino now.
No, there it is.
We were in those places.
Sonoma.
We could watch Encino Man.
That's right.
We talked about that when we were in California.
Or Biodome.
There you go.
Oh my god.
We should do an all Pauly Shore month.
No.
Shoot me.
All right. Well, we can talk about.
we have a selection. We have a selection.
Oh,
we have a selection. All right. Everybody, listen up.
All right.
And it's Saw.
and I think it's available. It's not a Halloween movie.
That's
okay.
It's October.
Doesn't matter. It's my mom.
It's Rocktober.
And it's also very prevalent to things that are happening in the world at the moment.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
It is slightly. It's not Schindler's List, and it is slightly musical. Adam. However, it's also something that I was once in a live production of when I was in 6th grade. Boy, that was quick.
Match?
Hair?
It is Fiddler on the Roof.
I've been.
Oh, okay.
My mom just watched it and she's like, "It's on Freevee."
Sorry, Adam. It's a musical.
Can we watch the Blackhawk version, or do we have to watch the Hollywood version?
The Hollywood version with Zero Mostel.
Okay.
Fiddler on the Roof. It's
Actually,
on
Adam
Freevee,
appears
which is
that
Amazon's
too.
free version.
Roku, Hoopla, Tubi, Canopy.
Canopy.
You're just making up syllables now.
Pluto TV and Freevee are all free.
Just a nice little 3.5 hour movie.
It is a long movie.
I've seen it before.
Break it up.
2 hours and 59 minutes.
Did you say
And
this
it
is
is
a relevant
Brocktober.
movie?
Eat your broccoli.
Did you say this is a relevant movie because of what's happening in Israel?
Yes,
Oh my God.
it is.
You don't think it is?
It
It
is.
is.
I really don't think it is, but it's fine. I enjoy the movie.
I guess you're Jewish and you made the joke, so it's okay.
I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
I mean, this is about the Jews being. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into
I've
it.
never seen the movie. I've seen the music perform, but I've never seen it.
Persecution? Yeah,
It's an excellent
There
movie.
we go.
I'm excited.
Topol is Tevye.
On the other hand,
Yeah.
There are no other hands. My line, by the way, was "fight." That was it. That was my line.
If I were Jeff Bezos.
I think
and that was
Eric's
as an
brother
usher.
I think Eric's brother was in it.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he
I
was.
think it was too.
He was in all the things.
It was down at Penn State Beaver.
Yeah.
Harmony,
Centered
harmony,
players.
make me a match.
Yeah, they took down the they tore down the amphitheater a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yes, they
Oh,
did.
I was gonna. We were gonna do the show live from there.
Wow, that'd
And,
been cool.
and to stay thematic, Dan's going to broadcast from the roof of his house.
Well, that would be fantastic.
Fiddler.
Also, it's a John Williams movie.
He's done so much stuff.
It is. It was one of his earliest movies.
He's been working since he was like 2.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Incredible.
Well, there
Mom
we
said
go.
you're going to be the next Mozart. I
A
was like,
movie
"Ooh."
choice. So now we can move on to what else you've been watching. Oh yeah. Now, Brittany in the comments said she's very excited to share what she's been watching.
Yes. I wanna find
We know
out.
a little bit of what Brittany's been watching, which be our TV show of October, which is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, streaming on Netflix. Amanda's choice for October. I've been watching quite a bit of this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've rewatched the first season now so far. So
There
Can
are
we
2
jump
episodes.
seasons and it makes sense, or
what?
can we jump seasons and it still makes sense? Or
I mean, for the most part, like the main players don't change that much. You meet
Okay.
most of the main cast in season 1. Like, there's one new character that I can think of that's introduced, I think in season 2 or 3, who becomes a fairly major player. But I mean, the main cast is largely the same. There just might be new romantic pairings, but they should be relatively obvious.
It'll probably be less jarring than New Girl was.
Yeah, and I will say season 3, like season 1 and 2, there's a very clear progression of the characters in the show, and season 3, a few episodes in, has probably one of like the heaviest episodes by a decent amount and deals with some fairly serious topics. So if you jump to season 3, it might be a bit jarring, just because that's when she kind of goes off the rails, and then the rest of the season is like
She
dealing.
hasn't
with
already.
Well, like she passes.
She's
a
at least
certain point.
functional.
She passes a point and then has to recover.
Oh,
basically.
my.
So like
Okay.
3 is
Wow.
largely
My,
recovering
my.
things. And, yeah. So
All right.
Wow. Okay. Well, there we go.
anyway.
So, anybody else like to? I will share one thing that we watched, which was a great disappointment, which is the latest Haunted Mansion movie that is now
Oh,
streaming on
really?
Disney Plus.
I could tell you
I
that.
really found it to be terrible.
Oh.
Did you find it to be worse than the Eddie Murphy
I
one?
liked it.
I would really watch the Eddie Murphy one again. I felt like they had so much they could have done with it, and they went with
Probably.
every trope imaginable that they could be like, oh, it's a single mother who's got her kid and they're moving into a house that they don't know about, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it just goes on with just every little predictable plot point that you could imagine. It was
Well, yeah, because it's the Haunted Mansion.
It's just trying to explain the Haunted Mansion, which
I
looked at it that way. It seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
I was disappointed because I had hoped that maybe they would figure out a way to make something awesome.
It was not awesome, but it was better expected.
Well, and the first movie too literally had all the representation, and they made such a big deal out of it for this movie. I was like, you already did it. You had a movie about a black family in a house with a story about racism. Like, why are you pushing this again?
It's just funny because Eddie Murphy has that whole joke that he says, if a black family moves into a haunted house, it's like white people move into the haunted house, and it's, oh, look at this, it's gorgeous, get out.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
shame to stay here.
That is. But the black family's like, too bad we can't stay. Brittany, here's what Brittany's been watching.
That's wrong. Yeah.
Sorry, Amanda, just totally blocked you.
A spoopy show?
A spoopy show called Elves. It's Nisser. It's Danish. It's like a Christmas show, but spooky, but not too spooky. Less spooky than Stranger Things. It's only 6 episodes, 25 minutes each.
Oh.
We only have 1 episode left. It's fun.
Interesting.
Awesome.
I saw one of my favorite movies I like to watch around this time of year, The Innocents from 1961. It is the best version of Turn of the Screw in film. There is no gore. It is just spooky stuff. Very beautiful movie. It's on for free on YouTube. I recommend anyone watch it. It's like an hour, 40 minutes maybe.
I watched one of my favorite movies, but probably not a movie I would put out for EriDan, which is the Stuart Granger version of King Solomon's Mines. Great movie. And that made me get a little bit on a Stuart Granger kick, so then I watched his version of The Prisoner of Zenda, which I really enjoy.
Prisoner of Zendaya? What?
Yeah, Prisoner of Zendaya, yes. It's the Tom Holland movie.
So I, in my travels last week, decided I was going to do audiobooks instead of watching anything. So I listened to Henry Bushkin, also known as Bombastic Bushkin, who was Johnny Carson's lawyer.
Oh.
Sounds like a cat.
From 1970 to 1988, he was his lawyer. And boy, did he spill the beans. Because attorney-client privilege leaves at death.
Yeah.
And Johnny Carson was a slime ball.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, he cheated on every wife. He was a horrible businessman.
He held grudges forever.
Joan Rivers.
Never talked to Joan Rivers again.
Yep.
Joan Rivers' husband lied. I mean, it was just Edgar Rosenberg, no relation. But it was really good listening to it, except for the guy they had. It wasn't read by the author. It was read by a guy that I think wanted to be an actor.
Oh, no.
And every once in a while, he would say, and then Johnny said, I didn't do that. I'm like,
Don't do impressions. Don't do impressions.
Yeah, just read. And then the next book is the one that Dinah Manoff wrote, called The Real True Hollywood Stories of Jackie Gold,
which
is about this actress named Jackie Gold who is in a coma and she's going through her whole life. And I've been listening to it, and Chris, who played Eric in the sitcom, is in it, and Barbara, who played Terry in the sitcom, is in it. So it's kind of cool to have familiar voices. It's not just her reading it.
Is it fiction or nonfiction?
It is totally fiction.
Okay.
It is not based on anything. She just made it up. And it could be a movie. I think they're talking actually, having it made into a movie at some point.
Didn't know Chris did audiobooks.
I didn't either.
Is this her first book?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So I do recommend it. It's called The Real True Hollywood Story. Do I have a copy, the hard copy here? No, I don't. But I recommend it highly. I'm sure it might be at your library. I don't know.
It could be. It might not be at ours because our budget's very tiny and we're academic. So I'll look in the system though.
Rachel Bloom did put out a book called I Want to Be Where the Normal People Are. And she did an audiobook of it, and she was the narrator. So That could be interesting if you're watching the show.
That's true. I do enjoy authors who narrate their own movies.
I'm much more, even if they're not the best narrators, the material means something to them, so it's usually a better read.
Yeah.
See, I will disagree when it comes to the Lemony Snicket books because it was
Well, I'm mainly thinking of nonfiction more than fiction.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, then Lemony Snicket read them and he was terrible. First, it was the guy. Oh, I can't think of his name, but I see his face. Tim, that guy who was in everything.
That guy.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Curry. Thank you.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry was fabulous, and then they had this other guy come in halfway through the series.
Tim Curry is a great narrator. I mean, he has such a great voice. Yeah,
I think they couldn't pay him enough. I don't know.
Tim Curry as Count Olaf would have been awesome.
Once he made that sweet Clue money, he didn't need that gig.
That's
anymore.
right, exactly. Man, we should be watching Twilight all month. We could just.
Oh, hush.
Yeah, please. I think I might rebel.
Yeah,
Cats was bad enough. Don't take me down Twilight.
We need some more movies on the third page. Come on.
As a resident of Washington State, please no.
No.
As someone who goes to Forks for work, please no.
As someone who has a modicum of taste, please no.
Oh,
So
objective.
So I watched a movie that I thought was going to be good because the cast was pretty good, and it was an older movie I'd never seen, and it was on Max. So I watched it, and it wasn't very good. And it was Throw Mama from the Train.
Oh, Danny DeVito. Yeah,
not very good. It was a miss.
I never thought it was a great movie.
It's better. Have you ever seen Strangers on a Train?
No.
The Alfred Hitchcock movie.
It's his first golden age.
If you've never seen Strangers on a Train, it's not as good. It's still not a great movie, but if you've seen Strangers on a Train, it's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be funny, it's actually trying to be dramatic.
Well,
And his daughter's
Throw Mama. So it's called Throw Mama from the Train, and the train part happens in like the last 10 minutes of the movie.
right?
Wow.
It's like, Train is on a Train. It happens about this 2/3 mark, and then they have this whole fairgrounds.
Climax. With the merry-go-round. Yeah.
Like
Is that the one with the old mom? Owen!
Yes, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
She got
Anne Ramsey,
a
I
Golden
believe it
Globe
was.
for that. She got
It was Anne Ramsey.
Yes.
I mean, they accurately represented mothers, so good for them.
Wow.
God.
You just told us something that explains a lot.
I love you, Mom.
It's some mommy issues.
I know you're not watching.
Scott's sitting there waiting for his chicken.
Well, I like how he's sitting there with a shawl around him like Anthony Perkins in Psycho while he's discussing his mother.
Mother.
Girl's best friend is his mother.
Jeopardy was on. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You not know what Deuteronomy was.
That's right.
Anthony, put me down. Oh my God, you're so strong.
Yeah, I like Danny DeVito. He's a good, funny actor, and he's good in Twins, and he's certainly great in Taxi, but he's not always good.
No.
I think he was pretty funny in Haunted Mansion, though.
He was. He was better than Haunted Mansion.
Definitely in Haunted Mansion.
And he's pretty funny in the Subway commercials.
What do you
I
think
just saw
is
an
the
interview with
best?
him where he was talking about wanting to smoke a cigar in an airplane. Did anybody see that?
No.
They said if everyone on the plane says okay, we'll let you smoke a cigar in the airplane. And so he went through everybody, and they're all like, okay. And they came back. So everybody said okay, and they said everybody. Well, there was one guy who was asleep. Oh no, it's got to be everybody. So he goes all the way to the back. He says, "Excuse me, sir." Wakes the guy up. Can you imagine you're asleep on an airplane and Danny DeVito wakes you up? And he's like, "I want to know if it's okay if I smoke a cigar." And he goes, "Nope.
Yeah, get away.
There's no way you're smoking a cigar unless you give me one too."
Oh,
Nice.
They're doing a live-action remake of Hercules, and there's a petition to have Danny DeVito play him on screen. And I'm like, please don't. No one wants to see a shirtless Danny DeVito with no clothes.
to play who?
His character, Phil.
Oh. Okay.
Think about it.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
He was good in Matilda. I mean, he's done some good stuff.
He directed Matilda.
He was a good penguin. I liked him as penguin.
Oh, he was a great penguin.
He was.
Oh my!
He's one of the few that can hold a candle to Burgess Meredith in that regard.
That movie is going to come up here eventually. We're going to.
That might actually be his best performance. I really do mean that. Like he was so terrifying that McDonald's said, "What the heck is this, Tim Burton? We're trying to sell toys." And they took him off the project.
I did record. I haven't seen it in decades. I did record "Romancing the Stone," which he's in, and I want to rewatch that at some point.
Such a good movie.
That's a good
Kathleen
movie.
Turner and Michael Douglas. Yeah,
That was another drive-in pick.
and he was in Johnny Dangerously. Danny DeVito.
Gary brings up Get Shorty and Ruthless People.
Ruthless people.
And the World
So we did watch the first episode of Loki. If anybody knows, so
I
season 2.
really want to watch it because I thought season 1 of Loki was the best Marvel series in quite some time.
I think you'll be pleased if you enjoyed the first season. I think you'll enjoy this episode.
Is this just their version of Doctor Who?
It's getting there.
I thought Dan might enjoy this. I did get in my Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Oh, what is this?
This looks like George McFly's book.
On the mirror.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah. So you can read 750 pages of small print about Quantum Leap.
That's such a good show.
It was a great show.
That was a Kickstarter?
That was a Kickstarter.
Oh my gosh.
That's volume 1. He's doing volume 2 and then volume 3.
My God.
Volume 1's the original series. I don't remember. Volume 2 might be a thin volume about the new series. Volume 3 is all about periphery stuff like board games and puzzles and action figures and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna wait for the audiobook.
Yeah.
That looks like a lot of reading.
Did you finish, Eric? Did you finish Only Murders in the Building?
Oh my God!
Right?
Is it over? Is it over?
Yeah.
Season 3 is over. They've renewed it for season 4.
All right, don't say anything.
Yeah,
We'll talk. We can.
Wow.
You get 2 more weeks, and then we can talk about it.
And there are Scott. The reason I brought it up is there are Scott Bakula references in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Just the fact that it keeps getting. It's just so solid.
It is
solid.
I still think I like season 1 best just because it caught me by surprise.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But the overall quality has been surprisingly consistent.
I was impressed how good this season was. Yeah.
And the caliber of stars they get on that show. I mean, they didn't just have her in a small guest role. Meryl Streep was on for the whole season.
And singing.
Oh yeah.
And singing.
Yeah, I want the
very
music.
well.
I want the music from that. I'm gonna.
She's still
And
there.
Paul Rudd.
Of Mamma
I
Mia.
want them to do the show for real.
You want to be able to go see.
I would
I
go watch
was-
Death Rattle Razzle Dazzle.
I would-
Yeah.
Death Rattle, yes.
I want to see Steve Martin do that. The triplet.
The Patterson.
The Pickwick
Patterson,
which
yeah.
of the Pickwick triplets?
Which of the Pickwick triplets did it?
He cracks me up when he does that.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
Well, he's so stiff is what makes it great.
Yeah.
Please, though, no one recommend Mamma Mia for a movie on this.
Oh,
I will
It's-
actually
with
die.
Mamma Mia.
I already did it.
I'm not. I partially agree with you, Scott. I'm not a fan, but it's not terrible. I mean, it's no Cats.
Pierce Brosnan is terrible.
It's no cats.
He's so
Well,
bad.
the biggest, there are people in it who can't sing is one of the problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the cast is pretty good, like acting wise. And we went to see it at the Benedum in Pittsburgh, and we were very disappointed.
Oh.
There's no energy to
Oh.
that show at all. We were so disappointed.
Well, and the movie just is so focused on making it a feel-good, turn your brain off movie for every fan who watches it, rather than actually embracing the story. Like whenever something bad happens to somebody, it's like a Smurf falling down. Like, oh no, I fell down. Oh, it's okay. Let's be silly. Let's have fun.
The best thing about Mamma Mia is the episode of 30 Rock where they referenced it, where they're trying to figure out who's the father. It's a Mamma Mia! It's a Mamma Mia! And
That is the best part of it. I do agree. It's a beautifully shot movie. I'm glad that the director of that movie made Iron Lady and redeemed himself. But
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That was really good.
For those of you who are hoping, the Only Murders in the Building season 3 is available as a soundtrack for download.
Oh.
You'd like to be able to listen to the music from that. Yeah.
I do like how they announced that they had renewed it for season 4 on the day that the final episode of season 3 was released.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, you're supposed to save it.
No, I mean we knew, but we didn't know when we were watching it.
Yeah.
And then we were like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta be another season.
So yeah.
And yes, Martin Short is funny.
Yes.
Why is this a debate on the internet?
It should not be a debate at all.
not
Martin
much.
Short
I mean, it's-
hysterical.
People have different.
people
One
love to
person
do
wrote
that.
one article. Like it's not really a debate, right? It's
People of him are in short supply.
Oh.
I mean, I can understand that people might not like his style of humor.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
that's very different from saying he's not funny. I mean,
Right.
he's,
Right.
And to be
No
fair, I
one
don't
thinks
think it
little of
really is
Martin
much of
Short.
a. I don't think it's much of a debate. I think one person wrote an article and everyone else came out of the woodwork to say, "No, he's funny." It's like, well, yeah.
oh, and it's humor. It's one of the most subjective
exactly.
things there is.
Yeah, so I don't
Right.
think it's actually there's really much.
Like
real
Ricky
content.
Gervais said, nothing is offensive, but you can be offended by things.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You might be wrong.
But nothing is offensive because there's always something to somebody.
Right.
It's true.
Jokes in general are not offensive.
If
Yeah.
if you have Netflix, you should watch the Steve Martin Short stand-up thing that's on there. That's like I said, they still are using about half of the material from that on their current tour. But if you're not going to get a chance to see them live, it is very funny and it's worth watching.
Yeah, we watched that just recently again. It's good.
I've gone on record. I've gone on record. I think he's funnier than Steve Martin. That's just me.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're both very funny, but I think Martin Short, is funnier.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Jiminy Glick,
Yep.
Well, I will say
Ed
that
Grimley.
instead of
I
worrying-
love Jiminy Glick. I'm not an Ed Grimley fan.
I will say I think Steve Martin has a more intelligent comedic mind as
Yeah.
far as writing
Well,
and
Steve Martin is a much better writer. Yes.
and just so I think he's got a wonderful comedic mind. I think Martin Short for improv, for
Yes.
off the top,
And physical comedy. The two of them are great at physical comedy, but Short may actually be better.
yeah. And I think he's quicker. I think he's a little quicker with a jab.
Which I think is why he did so great as Jiminy Glick, because so much of that was on the spot coming up with stuff.
Yes. So I think but I think if it's going to be writing a movie, I think I'd go with Steve Martin. As far as somebody who would want to write a movie,
Well, he's written books. He has novels.
Oh yes, he's written quite a bit.
And he did that movie. He wrote that movie with what's her face from My So-Called Life.
Shop Girl.
Claire Danes.
Yeah, Shop
Girl.
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Well, at least there's no debate. They're both funnier than Chevy Chase.
Yeah. And I think they're doing okay financially. I think they're both okay.
Yes.
Most people are funnier than Chevy Chase.
See, I just do not understand why my dad finds him so hilarious.
It's the falling down.
Because he has
The
this
falling
face.
down.
He was funny on SNL. He was funny in Fletch. He was funny in Family
But I
Vacation.
didn't think
Yeah,
so.
but he was funny for a period of about 3 years. It burned out very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, he's also just a mean person.
He is.
See, I wondered. He seems like he is.
It's for falling down all those steps.
That was one of the actually that was one of the clips that they play occasionally on Conan's show, is when Dick Van Dyke was on, him talking about how he would watch Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live and go, he's going to hurt himself, and he actually, because Dick Van Dyke did physical humor and falls for years, but he learned how to do it the right way,
Right.
and so he actually called SNL to actually tell them that he needs to learn to do this or he's going to hurt himself. And Chase actually does have some long-term physical issues because of the way he abused his body.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the secret of him being so mean. He had like a Henry VIII moment where
Yeah.
he fell off his horse and hit his head, and all of a sudden he's an asshole for the
Or actually, it could be. There's comedians like Chris Kattan too who've done themselves serious physical damage over the years by throwing themselves into physical comedy,
or throwing
without
themselves
regard
at
to the
least so I can lift
consequences.
them up.
Yeah,
Well, like-
Scott picked him up.
Oh, geez. And
That's right.
Howie Mandel used to blow up gloves with his nose.
Yeah,
and
the surgical gloves.
perforated his sinuses. Stuff's funny only so long.
Yeah, that's why Gallagher just used Sledge-O-Matic,
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Of
Highbrow.
all the people we just mentioned, he's the one that died.
He's the one that died.
Didn't he play at the Holiday Inn in the late
No, that was
80s?
Gallagher too. That was his
That was
brother.
that was Gallagher too, which is this hysterical thing. You actually take a family member and put them on the road as Gallagher too,
Yeah, I
and knowing
wondered
a lot of
about
people won't know the difference.
Well, no, he and his brother had like a fight and a falling out, and then he went off as Gallagher. I just remember, Eric, you remember this?
I do remember this.
People that were there, oh, I saw Gallagher. I'm like, no, that wasn't Gallagher. Yes, it was Gallagher. I mean, Gallagher's not playing the Beaver Falls Holiday. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Eric plays the Beaver Falls Holiday.
Hey now.
I played I had a comedy show there.
Eric doesn't play there anymore.
Close that place down.
Right?
And it was funny because, I mean, Gallagher in his early days, I'm not saying he wasn't funny at the end, but he actually was, just a solid comic. He just, he found this one niche that people found. So sort of like Andrew Dice Clay found a niche that enough people loved that he just then focused his entire career on that one niche.
Right.
Yeah, he was the first.
Did you know that? Did you know they sampled him in the song "Unbelievable"?
Really?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh,
that's Andrew Dice Clay.
Interesting.
It is?
Wow.
Listen to it.
I thought it was Gallagher.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Eric will play it in a second.
That's like Drake quoting Kurt.
Playing that where you get shut down.
I don't think we get shut down for 3 notes. I can name that. Eric, did you watch Name That Tune with Debbie beating
with Debbie Gibson?
Beating what's her name?
I have it recorded, but I have not watched it yet.
Oh, you just gave a spoiler, Dan. Jeez.
This reference to Debbie Gibson was brought to you in part by all new Flucker Noodles, the perfect snack for when mom and dad just won't listen.
Why?
There you go.
I still love that you put the asterisk where the L should be. That's the whole word.
Dan is correct that is Andrew Dice Clay. I confirmed that on Wikipedia, and if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
It must
that
be.
word makes me
The weird
so
thing is, it was
happy.
just added 30 seconds ago.
By user D Rosenberg. Know him?
It's not just.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
My goodness.
Oh.
My goodness.
I need more USB ports, Eric. What do you recommend for a hub? For a Mac Mini. I'd throw that out there.
Well, Prime Deal Days start tomorrow, so that's your day to buy.
I know.
How many USB ports do you need?
Not a whole lot, but a couple more. Either that, or I have to go to. I probably should just go wireless on my mouse and keyboard.
How is it we're now up to 4?
You're still using a wired mouse?
I started using wired because I was sick of the battery dying.
We have what? We have Prime Day, we have Labor Day, we have Prime Day 2, and then we have Black Friday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bezos got to pay.
And then we have Optimus Prime Day.
Prime Day is on my birthday.
Oh.
Wait, when's your birthday?
Wednesday.
This week?
Yeah. Wednesday, the 11th.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh, God, dang.
Ooh, bad impressions.
Woo!
Wow.
So, Adam, tell me why it's your birthday.
No, you have to do like the mother voice. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Ed, happy birthday.
Oh, my God.
Happy birthday.
You take it from this.
What happened? Turned around for 1 second.
And it's Adam's birthday.
So Dan,
lost
these
control.
USB ports.
That's some wild stuff. That's some wild, wacky stuff.
Dan, did you say that
USB
you're looking for
ports,
something
come
for a Mac
find them.
Mini?
That is weird, wild stuff.
Dan?
Yeah, I have. I thought this thing was going to work.
See, this
Where did it go?
here. This is what you want. This is what you want right here.
Oh, and it's 5% off. Jump on it.
Oh, Satachi.
Underneath your Mac Mini, it adds 3 regular USB ports plus a USB-C port, plus a couple of micro USB, blah 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 blah.
And then it sends all your data to East Asia.
And it
becomes pre-hacked.
Whoa, jeez. All right, wrong glasses. All right, there we go. So there we go.
Yeah.
Next Monday. Well, I'll be back. Never mind.
I'll be back.
We'll be back.
You too.
I'll be back Monday. And then the following Saturday, not this coming Saturday, the following Saturday, Back to the Future Day, which is 10/21, October 21st.
2015.
Rafi and I will be back on. We had some glitches this Saturday. We were going to try to do a show. It just wasn't going to work. We're waiting for a few things. We're launching the name. It's only going to be once a month though for the next few months anyway, but it's going to be more. There'll be more content than before. That's
how is no one brought up that this Friday is October 13th?
Friday the 13th in October, right?
We should have done a scary movie.
We should have done Friday the 13th. I made no reference.
No, but it was scary.
Jump scary.
Well, Fiddler on the Roof is scary if you don't like arranged marriages.
Oh.
Fiddler on the Roof is scary if you don't like guys who look like Adam.
Oh man,
There's a lot of beards.
there are a lot.
There are a lot of beards.
There are.
This mildly sexual content is brought to you in part by Big Eddie's Slaughterhouse and Petting Zoo, the only place you get to feast on fun.
Minutes from the mall.
I mean, it was very mildly, but still.
That was pretty mild, but
that was a stretch.
Yeah. Wow. Minutes from the mall.
Century 3 Chevrolet, Lebanon Church Road, Pittsburgh. Minutes from the mall.
Yeah, growing up, I always thought that was dibs on the mall, and it took me to learn that was not what it was.
Dibs on the mall.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was all the time.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
You also grew up. You also grew up thinking that in VeggieTales they were singing colored green instead of collard greens, right?
Well, I didn't remember that, but maybe I believe it.
Sorry, Adam.
It was either you or Jen who thought that.
Yeah, we're basically the same. It's fun.
I actually love that. That's fantastic.
All right.
Oh, and that lull means that it must be time to say goodnight.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Now it's time to say goodnight to Jen and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in.
When's the next comedy show?
January 20th.
All right.
I did see that somebody bought a ticket for the Seattle International Comedy Show that I'm not involved in at BPA, and it's front row, dead center, one ticket. I'm like, Adam, you didn't buy that one, I hope.
Nope, not me. Yeah. I was waiting for you to tell me the date.
January 20th. The tickets aren't up yet, but they will be soon.
Okay.
And then January 27th at the Roxy Theater in Bremerton.
And I'll be in
2 theater shows a week apart, and I'm recruiting a bunch of people to be comics that have not done stand-up. We're going to have a whole workshop. Scott's probably going to MC. It's going to be a lot of fun.
If he survives his current
That's what I was just gonna say.
He'll be fine. He's got a cold.
No, this is going to be my bit. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I was supposed to come in and MC the show, but so you can see I got COVID. And also sorry for not wearing a mask.
You said you said you're negative.
I am negative.
I can MC.
No, he tested for COVID. He's just a very negative person.
Oh, ow!
I'm negative, but I tested positive.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Thank you for picking up on that, Dave. I appreciate you. I'm fine. You're okay, Dan.
I wasn't that close to you.
Well, fuck you.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, wait, the ferry's going off loud for some reason. Oh, boy, that's perfect timing. Right as you said the ferry went, it beeped you. By the way, we had an earthquake yesterday.
Oh, wow.
We had a 4.2 earthquake. My mom, she texted me. She's like, my sofa just moved. I think we had an earthquake. And I'm like, I didn't feel anything. And then I Googled it, and there it was, 4.2.
Wow.
6 miles away from the.
That's a pretty low rating. I would have given it at least a 6.4.
No, yeah, it's 4.2. It's
better than
a lot of people. A lot of people felt it though.
Interesting.
Facebook lit up.
There's a mom joke there somewhere. I won't say it.
Wow. Like, go have some chicken soup, Scott.
Yeah.
All right, I can do that.
Good luck, Scott.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Are we gonna wait for him to get back?
Sure.
Where did he go?
He went to get chicken soup.
You told him to go get chicken noodle soup.
He follows orders. He's
supposed to do it. What a good director. He's supposed to do it afterwards.
Whoa.
No, he right
You
now.
can edit this part out. Don't worry.
Oh, he has to edit this part out. He's the editor. All right.
There was some comedian, I couldn't remember who it was recently, who was doing a bit about, you ever at someone's house eating popcorn and wonder to yourself, that big bowl I'm eating popcorn out of, is this also their throw-up bowl?
Wow.
I heard that. That sounds Jim Gaffigan-ish.
Yeah,
It may have been.
I bet you it is.
That sounds like a legitimate concern at the Schiemer household. I'm just saying. If memory serves correct, growing up.
I'm always shocked when
Empty
people
ice
use
cream
bowls. We use buckets or
It's been since on December 11th, 1987. It was a garbage can from the kitchen.
Oh no, it's time to play the video.
since then.
What's that?
I thought you grew up since then.
No, I have not broken the record. Eric predicted I would when we did our year-end prediction. I do that.
Oh, is that what it was? We were talking about it, and then it didn't happen.
There's your next bumper, Eric. This reference to Dan not throwing up is brought to you by Cats, the musical guaranteed to solve the problem.
That's right.
That's just a fur ball, Dave. Not All right. I think we're done.
Vomit jokes.
It's unbelievable.
All right.
That's unbelievable.
Next week, everybody.
Good
Fiddler
night.
on the roof.
Live long and prosper.
A fiddler on the roof.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.